Today, I'm back with another mega physical media topic video for you all. Today, I'm going to be answering the important physical media topic question: should you be destroying all Blu-rays in your physical media collection immediately and just focusing on collecting 4Ks right now? This is a part 2, so if you missed part 1, make sure you click on that video at the end screen. To answer this important question, we're going to break up this video into 3 different segments. First, we're going to talk about what Blu-ray high definition means for you. Secondly, we're going to talk about why you can get better deals on Blu-rays right now. Thirdly, we're going to talk about why your at-home setup may be better for Blu-rays rather than 4Ks. And then ultimately deciding, should we be holding on to our Blu-rays or be getting rid of them and going just for the 4Ks? So to get all this valuable information to help you on your physical media collecting journey, make sure you watch throughout the entire video. But before we get into all that, if you're just discovering the channel for the very first time and you love collecting physical media and being part of this amazing mega fan community, make sure you subscribe right now to stay entertained and up to date on all the latest physical media topics.
Well, we're waiting.
So to get into my first major point, and that is that Blu-rays are still an awesome format. We have to look at what a Blu-ray is, and Blu-ray is a high definition format. I know sometimes we may look at a 4K, almost get fooled and see, oh, HD, we know that stands for high definition, so this is the only high definition format out there. No, 4K is Ultra HD, meaning ultra high definition. This is a whole different story than high definition. This is a step above. This is a different format. This is way different than a Blu-ray. But once again, a Blu-ray is high definition format. We cannot forget that. So Blu-rays are 1080p resolution. They give us a good sharp image quality because the Blu-ray laser on the disc players reads it and can show us a great high definition quality image. Visuals will come through sharply on Blu-rays, and so it is the high definition format. So when you think high definition, you got to be thinking Blu-rays, not just looking at 4Ks, because once again, that's Ultra HD. That's a whole different story. But Blu-rays are a solid HD format because they all are 1080p resolution. You can take a look at any of them and see on the back that you do see that these are 1080p resolution, which means once again it is high definition. So Blu-rays can store a lot of data on them. The Blu-ray laser in the disc players picks up a lot of good information, and that's why it is able to display a lot more higher quality and high definition quality. So it's all about that Blu-ray laser in those disc players. So Blu-rays are an absolute solid format, and not only that, they are a major upgrade over previous formats. If we look at some past examples of previous formats, we look at VHS. Now, even though I do really like VHS, I think they're awesome looking artwork. It looks so nice, the Star Wars trilogy on the shelf. I do know that the image quality of the VHS do degrade over time. So the more times I played these VHS, they have gone down in quality. The images just don't look as sharp anymore. Actually, they look very blurry in a VHS player now, just because they've downgraded over time. The image quality just gets degraded as more times you play it, which is way different than Blu-rays. A Blu-ray disc, that's the great thing about a disc format. No matter how many times you play a Blu-ray disc, it's gonna still be the same sharpness from the very first day to the 500th time you played it. That's a great thing about the disc format. And so you're still gonna get that high definition from the Blu-ray. So that's why a Blu-rays is a major step above the VHS. Even though there are still cool things to the VHS, they look awesome, gives you your nostalgia feels. So I'm saying, VHS, they do have some merits, but the Blu-rays are a major upgrade in terms of image quality. And then even when comparing to DVDs. Now DVDs, once again, are a good option for collecting. They do have their merits. They're a very cheap option, so they're not a bad option either. But we have to look at the differences between a Blu-ray and DVDs. DVD resolution, you're going to be about 480p resolution, which is way smaller than a 1080p resolution. So 1080p high definition on a Blu-ray is going to look a lot better. So all these DVDs, they would look a lot better in high definition. They would look a lot better on Blu-ray. You can tell when you play these DVDs that the image just isn't very clear in comparison to a Blu-ray. It looks a little bit more faded. The quality just isn't as sharp. It's hard to pick up on details and the characters, how they look, and the backgrounds and environments. Yeah, you're getting the basic picture. The story's still the same. The movie's still the same. It's just the image quality isn't as sharp. So to me, the Blu-rays are a massive upgrade over the DVDs. Now, not saying not to collect DVDs here, they're still a good cheap option, and there's some movies you can only get on DVDs that have not gotten to the Blu-ray format, so you're going to need to have DVDs in your collection too. But once again, when just comparing it to the Blu-rays are going to be high definition again, 1080p. They're going to shine through a lot more sharply. The image quality is going to be there with the Blu-ray. So Blu-rays are a massive upgrade over previous formats, and they're still a great quality format. You don't necessarily need to go to 4K ultra high definition on everything. You're still getting a very sharp image with a Blu-ray disc that was originally designed for high definition. So you are getting a good quality format with the Blu-ray. You're getting a good resolution. For a lot of movies, the high definition format works perfectly fine. For all these comedies I have that aren't even going to go to 4K most likely, the Blu-ray is fine. The image looks just nice enough in high definition. You don't necessarily need to get these going into a 4K format at all. They still look very clear on the screen. They're still really enjoyable to watch. And so Blu-ray is still a great format. We cannot forget that. As a physical media collecting community, Blu-rays still have a lot of merits. It's not just about the 4Ks.
Come on. Do it. Do it. Come on. Come on.
Now to get into my second major point, and that's the very fact that the Blu-rays are cheaper and often have better deals. 4Ks are a lot more expensive than Blu-rays. That means you can get a lot more Blu-rays than 4Ks to expand your physical media collection. If you're going for Blu-rays, you can get more of the movies you love and care about, and more movies to ultimately watch, to display, to share with friends and family. You can just build up your collection a lot quicker if you're going for Blu-rays, because Blu-rays are more affordable. That's a fact. There's no doubt about that. For example, I just picked up on this Blu-ray King Richard at Target for only $10. What a great quality movie for such a cheap price. If I wanted the 4K of that and I went on Amazon, I'd be paying about $25. That's more than double the price of that because that was only $10. And actually, that Blu-ray ended up being a lot cheaper because Target had a buy two, get the third one free deal. So actually, after getting 3 movies, that Blu-ray of King Richard ended up being $0 by the end of the transaction. And that's a fantastic deal that you're gonna get with Blu-rays. Are you gonna get those kinds of deals with 4Ks? Not always. To me, 4K deals are a lot more rare, depending on what 4Ks they still have available. So they do happen, it's just a lot more rare to see 4K deals. And often the 4K deals are still more expensive than the Blu-ray deals. And often by the time you get to the 4K deals, you're definitely not going to get a slipcover with the 4Ks just because it's been so long. Blu-rays, I found you have a little bit more chance of getting the slipcover even though it's been some time. So you're just getting a better deal with the Blu-rays, which is what it's all about for collecting, getting more movies you care about. An example of a 4K I did get recently was the Morbius Steelbook 4K. I pre-ordered this one off of Best Buy. I paid over $35 for it. Yeah, I got it because I'm a big superhero fan. That's my favorite genre. I really like the artwork on this. I mean, it just was calling my attention how to get this movie for the collection, but it was really for collectability for display ability to add to the collection, not just about the movie itself. I could have probably gotten away with just getting the Blu-ray on that movie because it's a newer movie. Blu-rays on newer movies still look really good. Once again, Blu-rays are high definition, so Morbius would have probably looked just fine in the Blu-ray high definition quality, and I could have got the Blu-ray for $22 rather than pre-ordering a movie over $35. Yeah, I did get the cool looking steelbook. Yes, that's why it was a little bit more expensive, but even if you just got the 4K still would have been more expensive than the Blu-ray. So by getting 4Ks, I'm now not able to get as many Blu-rays because I only have a certain amount of money in the budget to spend on movies. If I'm getting 4Ks, that means I'm getting less Blu-rays. That means I will have less movies in my collection, less movies in my hauls that I'm picking up on, just because the 4Ks are always more expensive than the Blu-rays majority of the time. So you're just going to be able to get more better deals with Blu-rays, and to me that's a big factor for us collectors out there. We want to have an awesome library, a big selection to show off a lot of the movies we care about. You can grow that collection a lot quicker with the Blu-rays because you can get so many good deals on them and them a lot cheaper. You can find Blu-rays at Dollar Trees, Big Lots, Walmart for a really good cheap price. Are you going to find tons of 4Ks at a Dollar Tree? Probably not. Yeah, I've heard some stories out there, some legends of people finding a 4K here and there at a Dollar Tree, but it's so rare that I never myself have seen a 4K at a Dollar Tree. Unfortunately, hope that day will happen though. Also, when you go to a Walmart bin, are you going to see tons of 4Ks in there for you to pick through? No, it's going to be Blu-rays or DVDs. But the Blu-rays you can get pretty cheap in there. There's like $5 Blu-rays in those bins sometimes at Walmart's. You can pick up on a whole ton of good movies. Once again, in Blu-ray quality, high definition. You think you're going to get that with 4Ks? No, you're never going to get deals like that. 4Ks are always going to be more expensive. Also, if we take a look at one of these box sets I have, this is my favorite box set, Friday the 13th. These are all on Blu-rays. These are not 4Ks. When Scream Factory released this, they decided, let's go with the Blu-ray format, probably to make it cheaper for us collectors. More people could afford this. Imagine if all these movies were in the 4K format. How much would this have cost? Over $300? Oh my goodness, that is expensive for a collection. Yeah, it's a great collection. You're getting a lot of movies, but I'd rather pay 100 something bucks or even cheaper when it went on sale. Actually got pretty discounted as well. Could get it under 100 bucks. This is a great set of movies in Blu-ray, and the quality on all these discs, I've watched them all the way through. Good high definition quality. The Blu-ray discs were perfectly fine for a box set like that. Do I need those all in 4Ks? No, I personally don't. So to me, we're going to be able to get better deals, better box sets, better collections in Blu-ray because they're just able to do those cheaper. 4K is just so much more expensive, and if you're just going for 4Ks, you're going to limit your selection of movies at home. You're going to have a smaller physical media collection, and I don't want anybody to be limited in the physical media community, especially when Blu-ray high definition is still such a good quality, solid format. Once again, you can't get every movie on 4K. You might as well get it on the Blu-ray format and pick up on some great deals when they have it, just because you're not going to get those kind of great deals with 4K.
Show me the money.
Now to get into my third major point, and that's that you may not have 4K capabilities at your home. You may not have the proper setup to get the quality of 4K. So you may have heard, oh, 1917, this is a great 4K quality movie. You get it, but maybe you don't even have a 4K player. 4K players are quite expensive. They're way more expensive than Blu-ray players. Blu-ray players you can get under $100. You can get them $50. I mean, you can get those Blu-ray players pretty cheap often and find them on deals as well. But the 4K players, for a true good 4K player, not just an upscaled one, you're going to be over $100, way over, usually over a couple $100, $300 for a really good one. You may be even pushing up towards of $400 for a 4K player. So you don't just want to collect 4K discs if you don't have the 4K player. Makes no sense to do so. You want to start with the 4K player first and then the 4K disc. You don't want to do it the other way, where you just collect a whole bunch of 4K discs, you hear they're really good quality, but then you don't even have the capabilities to play them. You definitely don't want to do that as a collector. And not only that, you don't just want a 4K player, you still have to get a lot of other components that make sure the 4K truly shines through. You have to make sure you get 4K cables. You can't just use any cables plugged in. No, you need cables with 4K capability that are going to actually display the 4K image on the TV. And not only that, you need a proper 4K TV. You can't just get any old TV out there and think that's going to be 4K. No, you need to get a TV that is 4K, and obviously the better 4K quality image to the TV, the better you're going to be able to see the movie in its true 4K-ness. Even if you have a 4K player, you got 4K cables. If you don't have a 4K TV, it's not going to do you much good anyway. Yeah, you can still play the disc with the 4K player, but is it really going to shine through in the ultra high definition you wanted it? No, not if you don't have the proper TV for it. So getting the proper 4K TV is essential for a 4K setup at home. Now, it doesn't just stop there. You may think, okay, I got the 4K disc, I got the 4K cables, I got the 4K TV, we're all good. Now this image is going to shine through perfectly and I'm going to get the best at-home viewing experience. No, it's not just that. When it comes to 4K, for your eyes to pick up the difference in quality there, you have to have a certain size to the TV, a certain screen size, and then based on that certain screen size, you have to be a certain distance back when viewing the movie. If that distance isn't the proper distance, you're not going to be able to notice the difference between 4Ks and Blu-rays. If you're too far back, you're not going to be able to pick up on it. You have to be at the right viewing distance. Now that's completely going to change depending on the size of the screen. Different size of the screen is going to change that distance you need to be away from the TV, and so you have to look that up. You have to get that information, because if you're just way so far back, not going to be able to tell the difference anyway from a 4K to a Blu-ray. So it's not just about having the right 4K components for your at-home theater setup. No, it doesn't end there. You also have to check the size and make sure you're the right distance to actually get the 4K quality, because maybe you've been collecting all these 4K discs the whole time thinking you were getting a difference in quality, and maybe you really truly weren't getting the 4K quality you wanted and you deserved because you were at the wrong distance. So you have to make sure you look at the size, you look at the correct distance. You need to be back for the optimal 4K viewing experience. So there goes a lot into having the capabilities of having 4Ks. It's not just about buying the 4K disc. I know sometimes beginning collectors may get confused on that. No, you gotta have everything else in place as well to really get the value of the 4Ks. And so if you don't have the optimal setup for the 4K viewing experience at your home, and you're not really truly getting 4K, then why are you buying 4K? Because some people will still do that. They'll still buy a lot of 4K discs even though they're not in the proper setup to actually really get the most out of the 4K disc, and it's might as well just have bought the Blu-rays. Why? Because the Blu-rays would have been cheaper and you would have got more of them to expand your collection, and the viewing experience would have been pretty much about the same, because once again, maybe your setup isn't just capable of 4K, and that's why we still have all these other great formats. We still have the Blu-ray high definition format. Once again, still a great quality image, and if it's going to be the same viewing experience as a 4K disc for you anyway with your capabilities at your home theater, then why not go with the cheaper option where you can get more of the movies? There's no point just for the disc to say 4K Ultra HD if you're not getting the true value of it. So you got to keep that in mind. What is your setup looking like? Does it actually work for true 4K? If not, should you change your setup, get it upgraded, or should you just stick with buying Blu-rays?
Is it bad? It's bad.
Now, ultimately, we gotta decide, do we destroy all our Blu-rays, get rid of them, sell them, stop paying attention to them, and only focus on 4Ks from now? Answer is no, absolutely not. Keep those Blu-rays safe, keep them protected, keep them in your collection if they're your favorite movies, because we discuss so many reasons why those Blu-rays are still valuable. Remember, Blu-rays are still an awesome format. They're high definition. They're a big upgrade over previous formats. Also, you can get better deals with Blu-rays, find them a lot cheaper, which means you get to expand your collection quicker and enjoy more of the movies you love. And plus, you may not even have the 4K setup capabilities at home, and Blu-rays just might be the best option for you.
Party on, dudes!
So leave in the comments below, do you still collect Blu-rays or DVDs, and why you still collect them? Let's have those fun movie discussions down below. And if you like this physical media topic video, click another video to see more.
So there has to be another way!
There isn't.
Also, like the video, and this is Mega Mike the Movie Man reminding you to make every day a movie day.